Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Alive. Cholesterol low, blood pressure low. Give you a shout and gone, throw a couple of crisps. What we usually do, you usually have to down 6 Krispy Kremes before we do the interview. Yeah, so, you know, I'm happy not eating, yeah, I'm fine. As much as you're a feeder, I'm happy not eating. I am Lee Stevens. I am the owner of Smarden Classic Services. We do full classic car services, restorations, all manner of mechanical works. We buy barn finds, garage finds, we source cars for customers. We base on that with the services side of things. The second thing we do is vehicle transportation. We move people's cars all around the country from place to place, mainly along, again, the heart of the Ford Cosworths and the RSs, where my heart is. We don't pull everyday cars about. And the third one is, you're sitting in it now, is our new venture, is the car storage. Smarden Classic Services Storage. We're doing storage for, again, the cars that we work with, customers' cars that we work with, keeping them safe, keeping them secure, keeping them out of the wet. And yeah, another passion of mine, all into one basically. My business is all my passions into one. One I never sold would be the XR2 that I smashed up. Yeah, down Maidstone Bridge about 15 years ago. Give 350 quid for it, 30,000 mile car, absolutely immaculate. I was racing down Maidstone Bridge against an Astra GTE. Got to the end of the bridge, got excited. He turned around and took off. I thought, I'll get you. Went to take off, didn't quite do it, understeered into the curb, sideways, smashed the front end, twisted the front end, totaled the front, but I managed to drive it home. I managed to get all the way home, steering to the right to counteract the left call, all the way past the geezer in the GTE to go thumbs up. Yeah, I may have not caught you, but I'm gonna soldier this one home, and drove it 4 miles all the way home, totally twisted front end.
So my next question was, have you ever crashed a car?
Yeah, an XR2 down Maidstone Bridge. Regretting it, you know, selling it because they worry about, they look at the financial side of it. I think some people, we were chatting earlier on, you said about selling one of your cars at some point. You said, oh, you know, it could be worth this to sell it, but do you want to sell it? Do you need the money? No, then why are you selling it? Some people sell it sometimes, go, they're fetching that money. I sell that for that, sell it, you have the money in the bank, and what have you done? You've got nothing in the garage no more, you've got nothing to look at, you've regretted selling it, and you think, oh, that's it, it's gone now. Can't get that car back, or if you do, you've got to go and buy another one for top money, more money, or try and claw it back. I think a lot of people don't sit back and think, do I need to sell this car? Do I have to sell it? Am I financially in a problem to sell this car? Do I need the money? Am I financially unstable? If you don't, then you don't sell it. If you're bored of it, spend a few months thinking, do I still need to sell it? Some people sell them sometimes and go, current market's fetching, I'll sell that, and then they're gutted. I think the financial side of it at current times as well, with what cars, especially these sort of cars, what they're fetching, people just sell them and bank the money, which is great, but you don't replace that, you know, you don't replace them. So. Ooh. I don't know, I bought some shit boxes, mate. Are we going on classics, or?
What's the worst
we'll stick with classics, I think, because I bought some old shit. Some scrappers that I'll make 100 quid or in there, you know, and I couldn't really top it, but it's probably going to be an MGB GT I bought, and lucky enough I sold / where's the camera, stitched my mate Sam up on the way home, and him and his dad bought it off me for a couple of 100 quid profit. So I dropped it straight off them, worked it into them, and it sat in their workshop until they sold it, I think about a year later, for the same money. It was a quick thinking situation, that was. That'll be a Ferrari F40. Really? I think, yeah. Yeah.
Can't wait to see you dating a Ferrari F40.
Yes. Yeah. If that's the dream car, then yeah, it would be, yeah. About 165 in my C63 AMG. That was about it, yeah. On a private road.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nürburgring. I was on the way to Nürburgring. There we go. Yeah. If it's a 3-door Cosworth, then 3-door Cosworth. Yeah, I think, yeah. They're just the most iconic look. They're, you know, for me, for my age, from when I was back younger, that was the one. The actual Cosworth didn't exist. So yeah, the nostalgia side of it, what I remember growing up was the 3-door Cosworth. It was the ASBO boy racer car to have in the day. It was everyone wanted it with the 3-door Cosworth. They were the Playboy's car, City Boy's car, the flash car that my dick is as big as this. You know, I want to show everyone I'm earning money in the city. I'm going to have this car. That's what it was, you know, and that's what made these cars iconic. They were the flash City Boys cars, the big players, you know, the brokers and all that. And then they got them, and then the SAF come along, and that was the family car for someone to go, oh, I can have a Cosworth here, and tell the missus, we can get the kids and the dog in the back of this and call it a family car and still buy a Cosworth. So, yeah, it would it's definitely the 3-door for me for nostalgia.
Out of these three, Mark 1 Focus RS, Mark 1 Fiesta XR2, or Mark 1 Escort Mexico?
Scrap one.
Scrap 1, race 1, and sell 1.
Right. Sell 1 would be the Mark 1 Mexico.
Right.
Race 1 would be the Mark 1 Focus RS, and scrap 1 would be the XR2.
Oh, yeah, Fiesta owners club again.
Yeah, I love XR2s. I had one, I smashed it up. Oh, I don't know. I'd say worst car I've ever driven, but the most fun car I've ever owned, fun cars I've ever owned, I've owned 4 of them now, is a Reliant Supervan 3, only fools and horses replica vans. You know, they're so shit to drive, but so amazingly fun. For, you know, the fun factor of it, it tops it. It's both scales of it. It's, you know, it's fantastic to own. I used to go shopping in one of them. You know, I used to go shopping to Tesco's in one of them and undo the back seat and pop. People used to go, hey, coming out of Tesco's, look. But you know, and that was in Tesco's, you know, and I was living in Maidstone in Grove Green, and I had to do 6-7 miles in it. I go shopping in it, and horrible to drive. It's revving its nuts off at 40 mile an hour in 4th gear. But yeah, the worst car to drive, but the most fun car I've owned. I've found cars in the back of gardens. That was mainly the cars I deal with are garages, people's driveways and stuff like that. I got a SAF Cossie out of a customer's garden. We had to lift all the fence panels out and stuff like that. It was been built, the garden had been built around the car, so we had to lift all the fence panels out and over the back of his garden onto a driveway, onto a road which was all raised curb, through the bushes and stuff like that. That would be, yeah, that would be probably the most awkwardest place. Not even a question, mate. Old school. Yeah, new school don't exist. Yeah. Money Unlimited, first of all, is going to be the RS 500 Cosworth. It's going to be mainly Fords. It's going to be RS 500 Cosworth, the Escort Cosworth, Lamborghini Countach, Ferrari F40, and I mean it's all old school, and probably a Porsche 959. Them 3 cars mainly, the Cosworths naturally because it's what I do, but the Lamborghini Countach, the Ferrari F40 and the Porsche 959 is because when I was growing up I had a poster that my nan bought me for my bedroom wall with the Ferrari F40 on it, the Lamborghini Countach and the Porsche 959, and it was a poster with all 3 pictures of it, and it said decisions, 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 and my nan and granddad bought me the poster, put it up on my wall as a kid, and I actually bought one a couple of years ago, found it in America, the original poster, and bought it again. So it wasn't cars that I actually wanted, but that poster takes me back to what my nan and granddad bought me a poster of, and they were on my wall, so I looked at them every day, and I just loved them cars because of my grandparents, you know. The best car, yeah, it sounds boring for me to go back, but it's going to be a Sierra Cosworth for me. Yeah, it's going to be the Sierra Cosworth because that is where my heart is. Yeah, that is my passion, it's my heart, it's my business. yeah, it's going to be, you know, I don't do a lot of new cars with the Fords. I mean, I've driven a lot of new cars. We work on Mark II Focus RSs and stuff like that. I can say a lot of great stuff about it, but I just end up getting dragged back to nostalgia about what cars I love. I love a Mark I Focus RS, drive fantastic. You know, limited slip diff on them. They're the old school, they're a newish school feel to an old school car. They're the last of the ASBO cars. So I could put that in with a mixture a little bit, but I just flood back to the nostalgia of a Cosworth for me, yeah. Track, I would say track. If I was out to do it, I'd say track because it's safer for me. Rally, you've got more mud and dirt and stones to flick up and do your paintwork in. You know, so yeah, I'd go track because you've got more chance of stopping on the tarmac. But looks-wise, rally cars. Yeah. Love the look of rally cars, yeah, yeah. A rear-wheel drive, yes. No, it's not a bit of me. It ain't a bit of me. Definitely not. This, yeah, nah. In the cockneyest way I can, nah. Nah, they done it with my split screen pickup. I had a split screen pickup. The green one that I made into Marmite, the ratty, rusty looking pickup with a 2.4 turbo in it. That's running, what, 250 brake horsepower, the ASBO truck. We made that look like a ratty old pickup truck. And we had to put 70, 76 in it after. It was fantastic, but then a company in Ashford bought it off of me and started doing it. They had a grant, they started to build electric cars on classic cars. Showed me a Beetle they had done. It's fantastic to do it and see the modern thing on it, but no, you can't take that noise away from classic cars, can you? Imagine a Mustang with an electric motor in it. What's the point? You know, where's that roar? Where's it?
I'm the same.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
Neither. I don't drink that shit. Yeah, I don't drink that stuff. These two cost a couple of quid. I don't want to rot them ones out. '80s, yes. I love the music of the '80s as well. Lamborghini, yeah. Porsche, love Porsches. Yeah. Lamborghini's a status to say you've owned one, I think, and that's a challenge for me to do that one day, to say I've owned one. So I think because you can buy a Porsche, a cheaper Porsche, a box and say you've owned a Porsche, lovely, but I think a Lamborghini, it's an achievement, it's a goal for me, so I would say that, yeah, because it's a reachable goal. Oh, well, hopefully a reachable goal one day. So. I started off cars when I was a kid, when I was a nipper. Growing up, we had like a big brother to us who lives opposite. He used to look after us as kids, babysitters when mum and dad used to go out. And he just took me under his wing, really. My brother was more athletic, he was a footballer. I wasn't, I was into cars. So growing up, him and his brothers, Darren, Binzai, we spoke about earlier, he was into his cars. Him and his brothers and his mates were into their cars. They're a few years older than me. So they were driving, probably 6, 7 years old. So when I was 10, 11 year old, they were 17-year-old driving around. So there was a lot of old Fords down my road, round in London growing up. There was Mark I Escorts, there was everything, the Cortinas, the Capris, everything around us. They grew up, so I grew up with my neighbour opposite all the time with old school cars, which weren't old school in the day, growing up. So he used to take me under his wing as a little brother and treat me as his little brother and take me around with him. I used to go out driving with him and his girlfriend at the time, which is his missus now. He's still with her from back, 30 odd years ago. I was like their little third wheel, really. They used to take me about them. They used to go Southend. I remember going Southend when I was 10-year-old, in the back of the car, in the back of Capris, in the back of Mark I, Mark II Escorts, Cortinas, everything that was a 50 quid car back in the day. I used to buy them, sell them to each other, 50 quid, 150 quid, So he was like a big brother to us that got me into cars. He was the main man that popped me as where I am now into why I'm such a big full petrol head. He is the person that done that for me. And we used to go Southend, we used to go around Essex, just driving around. I used to do pizza deliveries back in the day. We used to be out in his Cortina delivering pizzas around London, and I used to be sitting in the back, all back in that sort of day. And I just grew up around him, really, mate. He really made me, give me the passion of what it is now into the cars. I just remember him working on them, his brother's working. I remember flashing back to a Mark I Mexico, white with a blue stripe that his mate had. that his brother Kevin bought for, I think it's, from what I can remember, I'm sure it was like 50 quid, 100 quid. Just, these are thoughts just off the back of my head that I can sort of remember. You know, and I remember getting in it one day with Johnny that owned the car at first, and I remember the stereo being in it, the little stereo with the wires coming out of it, and this little square speaker on the floor. You know, this little mesh triangular, like you had in the back in the days on your parcel shelf. It was on the floor, chucked in the corner of the thing. That was the stereo. You know, just with the cable going into it, listening to a bit of music and a tape in it. I remember all that. You know, that was who got me into it. Yeah, he brought me up and gave me the big passion of being who I am today. So it's a big thanks to him, really, mate. I see him, yeah, I think he's still into cars a little bit, not majorly. I mean, he's grown up, he's got teenage kids now, or older than teenage kids now, he's got his own family. I sort of catch up with him every now, very rarely, so every few years I, you know, get a birthday message off of Facebook or something like that, occasionally how you doing or something like that. So yeah, every few years, because he's still down in London way, every few years I have a little catch up, that's about it. But yeah, he is the main man that put that in there, put the Ford logo in there, you know, and my heart of being a car nut and a big Ford enthusiast, it's all down to him, really is. Right, I'm on social media at Smarden Classic Services. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I do mainly my business on Instagram. So I'm on the socials for there. With the workshop side, we are in Smarden in Kent. We travel around the country, delivering cars, picking customers' cars up, everything. So, you know, bring your car down from up north, get it down to us and let us do the work on it for you, that sort of thing. Bring it from overseas if you want, we'll do the work on it, you know. Buy a car from us, we'll deliver it to you over in France or Belgium, we'll do it, you know. We'll venture out quite a bit.
Thank you very much.